Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu with the State Security Trust Fund will on Thursday brief the state on the security situation of the state. The governor says that the briefing is important considering the security situation in the country, stating that though security is under the purview of the federal government, the ingenuity of the state government to mitigate crime is worthy of note. The security briefing will be done during the 16th annual town hall meeting of the Lagos State Security Trust Fund. The meeting with the theme LSSTF Stewardship, a review of our activities in line with the theme's agenda of the Lagos State government, will take a retrospective look at the current administration's developmental strides across all spheres of governance, particularly in the area of security. Joining us in the studio is the CEO, Lagos State Security Trust Fund, Dr. Abdurrazaq Balogun. It's nice to have you join us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Now, first of all, well, Lagos is the epicenter of Nigeria. Let's put it that way. Keeping the capital Abuja aside, when it comes to real activities, everyone hopes, because when I travel back to my village, people hope that one day, at least in their lifetime, if they can't visit anywhere else, I want to be able to visit Lagos. And we see a lot of people trooping to Lagos. Talk to us how challenging or easy it is to handle security with the influx of human beings and people into Lagos from Nigeria, from West Africa.
Thank you very much. I'll be speaking from the perspective of a civilian and not a security agent. The population of Lagos State is huge and also a blessing to us in the state, because we have seen over the years how prosperous Lagos has become and how we've been able to attract investments, attract resources to the state. But in all this, we understand generally that there's a correlation between safety and security and prosperity. And that's why the security of Lagos State, since the inception of any government of this state, right from 1999, has been taken very seriously. And we have created various avenues and various initiatives to ensure that the state remains safe. You said it in your introduction that our agencies, the security agencies of Nigeria is the purview of the federal government. And so it was the ingenuity of this state that made us to create the Lagos State Security Trust Fund as an interventionist agency to support and resource our security forces, because we understand that even by perception, once you perceive that something is wrong somewhere, you're not going to come there. And so over the years, we have created this trust fund to assist our agencies, and you can see a lot of initiatives and strides we have made. That's not to say we have reached where we are. In Lagos today, I'm sure you probably can't remember the last time you heard of a bank robbery. You probably cannot remember, even when we had this infraction during the last protest, we quickly were able to stem it down because we have the resources and capacity by providing these guys a lot of equipment that I dare to say that there's no state in Nigeria, even the federal government can say they have as much access as we have in Lagos State for our security agencies. So this is a continuous effort, it's a work in progress. And from time to time, we keep on improving on our support. The only challenge we have is the fact that we don't have total control of these people that you assist, because we cannot dictate to them how they use the assets and even how they deploy the assets, because we are not security forces. But we've always had a very harmonious relationship between particularly the police formation and the state government. And so there's this synergy. And they appreciate that to whom much is given, much is expected. So they also put in their best to ensure that the state continues to remain safe.
Do you feel sometimes vulnerable when you see that, Lagos is where you have the most concentration of people? Lagos is where you have the most influx of people in the country. Do you sometimes feel antsy when you consider that, Lagos is like an island of peace in a country that has been turbulent. Although we can see that even in the past few months, across the country, it has tamped down considerably. But especially in the heydays of this crisis, sometimes they will say, they are coming to Lagos, they are coming to Lagos. But how essentially psychologically, you can have all the structures in place and everything in place, but psychologically you could feel anything can happen. You can be right 99% of the time.
Yes.
You only have 1% to create all the fear that you need.
Yes. I think the state has always been very preemptive. We are always ahead of the game. For instance, the Security Council of the state that is headed by the governor and other service chiefs has been a very consistent formation that over the years, the governor has never delegated that responsibility. So there's always planning, there's always, constant engagement with even people or groups of people that can foment trouble. But these are things that you see behind the scene. And so there's always town hall meetings with police commissioners and different groups across the state. You call them for consultation. You even include them in some of the affairs of the state. All is on the bid to forestall or stem down any impending unrest and things like that. So in Lagos, I can say that we have a very visionary government that looks way, way beyond what is happening right now. The only challenge is the fact that, if you have total control of what you're putting your money in, you can plan, you can do more. Again, the issue of some of these challenges we have in Lagos is a Nigerian thing. You can't have few police officers, for instance, securing to 21 million people, less than 300 and 320,000 people. If you look at the ratio, it tells you that certainly it cannot be enough. And majority of these police officers are also doing VIP duties. So we need to have a lot more people on ground. We have to deploy more technology. We have to also, make sure that people that are supporting us or protecting us must also be well remunerated.
People talk about state police and so on, and Lagos is a state without a state police.
Exactly.
So does Lagos bring a lie to the whole contention that you have to have state police before it succeeds, or it's just that you have to have an efficient relationship between the state and the police before it succeeds? Because the way Lagos has worked, it's almost as if you don't really need state police, as it were, constitutional.
Yes, I understand
before
that.
you succeed.
Yes, I mean it's comme ci comme ça. If you look at the fact that, like I said earlier, it's a question of relationships. But in security or in any endeavor, you don't really need relationships, really, because I can be working with you and don't have any relationship with you, but there's a job that must be done, and we must do that job. The issue is that in Lagos, most of the time, we have a very, very harmonious relationship with whoever is coming to town. And it stems from the chief executive trying to build that relationship. Yeah. But I think, in my view, based on the job I do, if we had a state police in Lagos, we will do better, we will fare better.
Well, people say that people are more important than systems.
Yeah, but again, you also understand, sir, that I can support you now and you're deployed tomorrow to Enugu. I can't stop that. And these are the challenges. You train people, you kit people, you supply them all the arms and ammunition, bulletproof vests, and tomorrow you're taken to Jigawa. What do you do? That's not your control.
That is the next question I was going to ask, because the point there is, you train, besides the hardware, vehicle, ammunition, and all of that you buy, you train these people, because when the police in Lagos, the training in Lagos is very different from the regular training that the federal government arranges in police colleges and all of that. And the moment you equip, train, and empower the average policeman who resides in Lagos, working in Lagos, and then duty calls, and it has to be transferred to Benue or Delta or Kogi or wherever as a case, and a new person comes in. How do you share with us how you handle that transition period?
Really, it's tough. Some of these things, it doesn't get to us. We just observe sometimes the lacuna and observe that, oh, there's a gap here. And then you find people who they are new. So, but the administration and the deployment of these people are not things that they seek our permission or seek our notice. No, we don't know. But we see it all the time. So, for instance, during the last rainy season now, as mundane as a rain gear may be, for instance, we kit all the IRS, for instance, 2,000 men and women with rain kits and all that. And maybe the next rainy season, you hear that we need another 800 kits. And you wonder that, oh, last year, rainy season is just for a period of time, so you expected to keep these kits after the rainy season. So it tells you that something must have happened within that year that probably 600 people or 400 people have been moved out of that squad. So you have
but
to
what would the state government
again.
do in that regard? Do you lobby the police as an institution to try to at least keep these people within the state for a period of time at least?
Yes, I that's why I spoke about relationships. I think we have a very cordial relationship. And so it's quite minimal, particularly in the Rapid Response Squad, RRS. Because RRS is the creation of Lagos State from 1999 that was created, that's transitioned into RRS today. There's a relationship. So most of the time, you don't really get that much movement because of that understanding. And the fact that all the assets and all the support to RRS is from the Securities Trust Fund and Lagos State Government. Lagos State Government continues to be the highest donor to the Trust Fund. And the daily petrol and all the needs of the vehicles are also provided by the state government. So with RRS, we are pretty much stable with them than the rest.
So there's actually a correlation between resources and security.
Of course, yes.
The other thing I wanted to ask is this problem that we have had in the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. It affects Lagos citizens. What is the buy-in of the Lagos State government to how to take care of that corridor?
We've always advocated that there should be a handshake between Lagos, Ogun, Ibadan, those areas of in the southwest. And that's why some time ago they created the Amotekun Formation, and it's on a bit to ensure that southwestern states are safe. I think that I've looked at that area, I've passed it 1 million times, and I think the antidote is very simple, in my opinion. You can't have, I know it's not too, the dimension is not too wide for you to have grasses on the expressway. All we need to do is clear those grasses maybe 50, 100 meters away from the expressway. It will be difficult for anybody to just jump on you and ambush you. These things can be done by cooperation, contract it out to private sector, let them continue to maintain that 100, 200 meters away from the expressway, cutting the grass from time to time. It will be visible to everyone. It will be most difficult for anybody to ambush you at that point. So I think...
But there are forests there. There are forests there. And, with a great choreography, they can just burst onto the streets.
Yeah, but if you try to prune them, and ensure that it is done constantly, not something you do now and next 4 years you don't do it. I think it can be done.
Now we see some CCTV cameras here and there on the roads, and some people feel that the CCTV are for traffic alone. Talk to us basically if it also, if there is an interlapping relationship or the usage of them, whether it's not just for traffic, is also for security.
Well, that would be a secret that we would keep on the show. I mean, cameras cannot just be for traffic alone.
Okay. Yeah.
Traffic does a lot. These cameras do a lot of things around the city, and it's about Lagos being a 21st century city, making it a smart city. There's so many things that technology has taken over that you don't need people on ground. So these cameras installed all across the state is doing way, way much more than just controlling traffic. And I think even the traffic management is way better now in the areas where you have these cameras, because if you breach the law now, they don't need to arrest you. They'll send you the ticket at home, or they wait for you when you come to renew your paper. So it's doing a lot more. It's well integrated into various aspects of our daily lives.
And the other area I want the camera to focus on is these rail tracks that are where these vandals have been taking away the tracks. I will hope that some effort has been going on in that regard.
I can tell you, I know that the governor spoke about the new lines that are coming on board in the state, the first metro lines coming into state. I know those ones are well secure. But you see, now you spoke about the tracks again. These are federal. You see, we cannot continue to put all these things on Lagos State. Lagos State has a lot of responsibilities. And our mandate is to, as a subnational, the education is there, transportation is there, health is there. The more we create new health sectors in Lagos State and health facilities, we're getting influx of people coming to town. So I think, again, there's a railway corporation. That is the way to go. You must employ this various infrastructure to assist you. And I think, in my view, the ones coming on board by Lagos State government, I can tell you that it will be 24 hours, 365 days a week, a month, a year secure, because they're all installed with cameras and all security gadgets to protect lives and property. Because it's very important that once there's a breach in that sector, you find that people may lose interest. And we've also, in our proactiveness, we've also tried to assist the Railway Police Command. Most of you may not know that there's a Railway Police Command that's headed by Commissioner of Police. We looked into that. We also just recently supported them because they claim that they don't even have assets to move on the tracks. And that's also very important. It's not unusual for you to find police carriages also on the railway. So we are also providing support
as a security patrol.
Yes, exactly.
On the railway.
We just did that recently. It may not be enough, but it's a step in the right direction because nobody has ever looked the way of the Railway Police Command. We have always been supporting them too, like even the Marine Police. Initially, some years ago, we barely had 5 gunboats on our waterways. Right now, we have 42 gunboats with about 600cc engines. That means they can move at a very top speed. And we've also created like mini police stations under our waterways, like the Third Mainland Bridge you pass. There's a lot going on under those bridges there that you guys don't know. So it's all in the bid to ensure that the entire city and the entire state is well covered.
Like Big Brother now. That's what Big Brother is, a kind Big Brother.
Yes, exactly. It's a Santa Claus kind of Big Brother. All right, now, so talk to us about the relationship between the, interagency relationship. Because, of course, when we talk about security, it looks like everybody just points to the police. Of course, we still have other agencies that work, in connection to the police. Talk to us from that window.
I talk from my perspective again as a civilian, what I see. For me, I think we need to have that interrelationship. We need to have a situation where nobody's superior to the other. I've always said, and I've advocated it, that if you join the military, it's your calling. You're not superior to a police officer that's joined the police. You're not superior to the fireman, because everybody has a role to play. If you, as maybe people may think that a plumber is not that important, the day your pipe bursts in your house and the man tells you he'll be there the next day, that's when you will know that plumber is very, very important. So they must first of all shed this toga of being superior to one another. They must understand that there's a purpose, and that purpose must be met. So once they do that, I believe strongly that we'll make a lot of progress. In Lagos, again, I continue to say, maybe because there's always an interaction, there's always a meeting point. And the fact that they understand that the police will always lead in a civilian administration, so they always put the police commissioner in front, and the others support. They work in synergy in Lagos State. But I think all across our country, this is what is needed for us to make progress, because you need to share intelligence, you need to also share support. If you're going into a place now, you may as a police officer or even an army officer, you may realize that it may be the fireman that should lead first, because he's trained to lead for that certain purpose. So we must encourage a situation where people understand that there's a role to play. It's not a question of who's superior. The job must be done.
Now,
sorry, the issue of security is crucial. You have Lagos State using its resources, but there's a lot of buy-in from the communities. Yes, can you talk a little about that? But people don't understand what they mean by trust fund.
Yes.
The idea of trust itself is talks about buy-ins of other people in the community.
Yeah, the trust fund was created in 2007. Like we say, it's a child of circumstance, because ideally, if everything was working, you won't need a trust fund to support our agents. And so, like you said, it's a trust. All the resources we get is in trust, and we must render our stewardship. We must render how we spend it. We must be transparent about it. We've been doing that for the last 15 years. Audits are transparent. They are done by international organizations. We understand that every resources must be well spent and must be well applied. And so we've gotten a lot of support. But if you ask me, is it enough? Are we there? No, we're not there, because quite a number of corporations are not supporting, maybe due to the fact that it's a voluntary thing. I know anything that is voluntary is at your discretion to either do or not to do. But the few that have kept faith with that organization, as they have been consistent, and they've been consistent because they see how these resources are applied, and they see that these resources are well spent, and most importantly, we have a board of trustees of people who are highly reputable in the society, who have made their marks in their various endeavors, and so they superintend over the activities and create that vision. So the resources that we get are well applied, and they don't have to be in cash. Sometimes people donate things to us in kind, which is very important to us.
Like equipment.
Yes, that's very important. Like I said, Lagos State never donated cash to us, but equipment, Lagos State will donate. We take care of it, we distribute it, and we maintain them. So it's still work in progress. We believe that we have shown over the years that we are reliable. Without this trust fund, I don't know where Lagos would be. I've seen a lot of state governments come here to copy our model. They have not been successful, in my view.
Why?
I'll tell you why. One simple reason. First of all, I'm not sure of the commitment of their governors to it. Our governors have been very, very committed. And they have also been, they've stayed away from it. We're independent, almost independent. The governor will not tell you, do this, do that. No, the board of trustees will do that. Okay. And they will just give reports. And then they see how these things are applied. And most importantly, our accounts are transparent. They see every kobo spent. So I think that is what has also built that confidence in the trust fund. But do we have enough? No. We need more.
It's work in progress.
All right.
Indeed.
Work in progress. So we look forward to that progress. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdurrazaq Balogun, CEO of Lagos State Security Trust Fund.
Thank you very much.
We thank you for what you do. We are all in Lagos feeling the impact of the peace around. Certainly, we hope that it will even become better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.